70s. He won't run in the Grand National. We will take him out after the entries, after the weights declaration. And the plan has always been with Gordon and Eddie to go for the cross country in Cheltenham, where I believe he will be kicked out of the way again by Easyland. And then I think the options are we're looking at possibly retirement, or we may look at entering him in the Irish Grand National, which comes up at Easter, and where I think he would be more fairly weighted in the 150s, which is where his rating should be, not in 170.
Michael, do you know how disappointed the two racing nations would be if Tiger Roll was fit, healthy, hearty, rated somewhere in the low 160s, which would theoretically still give him a great chance of winning a third Grand National, yet you cut that threshold off at 160 and said he will not run? Do you not feel a sort of certain responsibility?
No, I think we feel a responsibility to the horse. You know, he owes us nothing. He owes nobody anything. He's a four-time winner in Cheltenham and a two-time Grand National winner. We will not allow him to run where he is unfairly weighted. I mean, I put it this way. If he's rated in the low 160s, he would have to give, or he might receive 3 or 4 pounds from a horse, young horse like the likes of Easyland, who's now rated 167. And Easyland beat him by 17 lengths 2 years ago when Easyland was 6 and Tiger Roll was 9. He's now 11. He's getting older. He may not even run again after Cheltenham. You know, his last couple of runs suggest that maybe he's not in love with the game anymore. And the priority at this point in time is minding Tiger Roll. We're happy to let him run in the cross country in Cheltenham, which is his primary target, not the Grand National. He'll run there off level weights with all those other horses, but we're not going to ask him to lump huge amount of weights around. He's a small horse, just because the UK handicapper wants to penalise him on the basis of his reputation rather than the basis of what he's actually achieved over the last 2 years.
And just a word on Daverussell, with whom you've had an amazing relationship really over the years, ups and downs, and the association with Tiger Roll, a sort of a glorious conclusion to it in many respects. He's been in the wars this season. How much more admiration do you have for him as a rider and as a man now than you did perhaps when he was riding you stacks and stacks of festival winners?
We've always had huge admiration for Davy. He's a brilliantly talented jockey. He was a bit of a lunatic, allowing his weight to go up and down or trying to get it down too low for a number of years. But I think marriage in recent years, children has changed him. He's a remarkable jockey, and he's also now a remarkable professional. But, you know, after the last injury he has, I wish he would look at the bigger picture. I wish he'd actually retire. I think he should. He's had a remarkable career, but he's also the father now of 3 or 4 children, and I would hate him to take any more risks, particularly where he's had the kind of warning with the neck injury. For the sake of Adele and his family, I wish he'd retire. I don't think he will. And if he continues to ride, he will continue to be one of Ireland's leading jockeys. But there's more to life now than riding winners. And he's had already, if he stops now, he's had a remarkable career, and he would know and owe nothing to anybody else.
And for you, Michael, and you've articulated this very clearly, there is more to life in racing. It doesn't mean, or more to life than racing, it doesn't mean that you don't still love the sport, are still passionate about the sport. Might not be in the next decade, but the decade after that. Is there still something that you'd like from it that you haven't had already? Or maybe something you'd like to give to it that you haven't given already?
I think we would like to give back if we can. I mean, you look at the fortune, the races we've run in the last 10, 20 years. 2 Gold Cups, 3 Grand Nationals, I think 4 or 5 Irish Grand Nationals. Most of the main races in Cheltenham without the champion hurdle. Racing owes me nothing. If I had spent 2 or 3 times the amount of money I've spent on jump racing over the last 20 years with Eddie, it would still be money well spent. But I think the challenge was I've been spoiled by that success over the last 10 or 20 years. And it would be very difficult to come back to it and go, you know, why aren't we winning all these races again? without buying another 200 or 300 horses. So I think it's unlikely. I am somewhat addicted to it. Um, but like most addictions, you try and wean yourself off it and then stay away from it for fear of relapse again in the future. There are other things in life. I have given a lot to racing in the last 20 years. And I think, I would like to hope the next 10 years will be gives a little bit more to my family, a bit more to my work, and hopefully we're growing the stud implantation in Newmarket and in Jigginstown here. We've been somewhat successful in the last year or two with new mares and at the foal yearling sales. And I would hope to continue to see that grow and expand. We have some very good management in plantation, and I have some very good management here in Jigginstown as well.
No sign of the pipe and slippers yet, Michael. Thank you very much indeed for your company this morning.
Thanks, Nick, and I just wish a very happy new year to all your viewers. And here's hoping we'll see the end of the COVID crisis by the middle of 2021.
And so say all of us. Michael O'Leary, thank you very much indeed.